Hi guys, Retro Tech Ralph here. Now, you might have noticed I bought an N64, my first Nintendo 64, and I'm ashamed that I've never had one before, but these are nice times lately anyway, that we can actually buy things we've never had for quite cheap and we don't have to save up forever for them. But the N64 comes with the original controller, loads of games and stuff and memory packs and whatever else. But I've noticed that this stick it's very crunchy. It doesn't feel right, and when I've played with it, it kind of doesn't do exactly what I want, but it's a common flaw. The way that these were made is, you can see it all in there anyway, there's a bit of dust and crap in there, but it's almost eating itself away. So it's not the best design that has come out for one of these, but there is an upgrade. Now the GameCubes came up with a different idea. Instead of having some sort of, it almost looks like a joystick with the size of it, but it is just definitely a thumbstick, but it just doesn't feel as good to move in certain places. But there is an upgrade, which is this, the joystick N64 controller, 2001 edition. I don't know why, but it's obviously made this year from a repair box, and this has come through the post. It's not been bought, well, given to me. I definitely bought it myself because I want to get this controller upgraded. Now, let's have a look. Opening it up gives me the following. Now, you can see the difference there. It's a ball. More than it being, this is probably a ball anyway, but it's a tiny little ball on the bottom, but it will destroy itself over time. This is your thumb pad, and it does feel a lot better that I can use it to where it's supposed to go. And this, in the housing, is supposed to fit this directly straight in. So this might be a straight replacement for that. But we're going to have a look in and see if we can replace this without any effort. So I'll get the memory card out of the way for a little bit. Now it looks like we want 7 screws out of here. There's a couple inside here as well, so maybe 9 screws. So let me get this open, that out of the way for the moment, and we'll see if this falls to pieces, if this goes in or not. So let's get the screws out to start with. I'll do a quick jump cut and get straight to there. All the screws are out. 2 smaller ones in here, and then the rest, the other 7 on here, quite easy to take off. But I would say, if you're going to do stuff like this, just take it steady. It's oldish plastics, well, not too old plastics, but just go steady with them. Otherwise you're going to break what the screws go into. Now, I don't know what I'm looking for in here at the moment, but let's have a look. Okay, so looks like that's in place. The trigger, the C button, no, the Z button, is in place pretty much, so I don't really have to worry about that. So put it on one side, give that a little bit of a clean in a bit. Now we're stuck with this part here. Looks like the pins are alright on the trigger, and the trigger's fine. Give them a little bit of a clean. Nothing major. There's nothing wrong with this. But try and keep it in one piece. I don't want to strip anything else down from it. It's a perfectly functional joypad. Now it looks like, yeah, because exactly the same housing, just copy straight from it. So it looks like 1, 2, 3 screws off, potentially 1 ribbon cable. I don't know where that one goes. Right, this is the other end of the button, right. So I need to just gently push these out of the way. No? Maybe that clips directly to, which it does, it's there. Right, so this is going anyway, so I could even destroy this because that's going to clip onto there anyway. It might even slide off, so I think I'll undo these 3 screws. I'll leave that one there because it looks like it's similar to that one there, just holds the housing together. So I'll take these 3 off and we'll have a look. Yeah. Now that could, yeah, that looks like it might slide off. Would it? Doesn't look like it will. I'm going to have to try and there. It kind of pops off a little bit. Be gentle with the ribbon cable on the board, on here. You don't really want to break the board at this stage. And there we go, that's out. I want the 3 screws there anyway. I'm going to look at this at the end and see if it's how bad or how good it actually was, but we're going to replace this right now. So keep on going. Okay, looks like the membrane there goes into 2 holes there. I want to try and get this in place. I'll just clip into place, holding everything in. It's maybe a little bit fiddly. That's quite hard really to get that on there. I'll go in place without. It fits absolutely, yeah, spot on fitting wise, but trying to get the trigger button back in place. Make sure those tabs are in. Looks like it would just push into place, but I don't want to break the plastic. This is quite fiddly. There we go. No, yep, yeah. There you go. Make sure you try and grip where the membrane is, and that'll go into place. I'll just hold it in place for a second. Put at least one of the screws in. Don't tighten too tight. That just made a little bit of a sound stop straight away. Yeah, you are using it for gaming, so maybe a little bit tighter than normal, but just be careful because it's an old system. Oh, it's oldish. A little bit in place. Done. Try not to lose a screw. There we go, done. So, that in place, does it go that way or the other way? Looks like that way. And with everything still in place, it doesn't really matter so much how things go in. So I'm not really covering anything. I'm going around that capacitor or voltage regulator or whatever it is there. That's covered in blue. Maybe that doesn't go that way then. That goes that way around. No. It goes that way. No, it does go that way around. Okay. Will not go the other way. So there we go, that's on and in place. That's just looping around the top. It doesn't look like it's in securely. Oh, there we go. Better. So, let's have a look at the other side, shall we? Ooh. Now that's very similar. It actually looks dirty, but it's kind of done. But that, oh, that feels a billion times better. Massively better. That was so smooth, that's ridiculous. So that one being quite crunchy and yeah. So what I need to do is get the trigger buttons back on. So that's the right one there. It's on the left hand side. Obviously it's upside down. And the left over there. And put the back on. Watch out for any of these membranes just popping off, like it has done on that little bit of a board. Clumsy fingers. And all being well, we were going to give this a clean, wasn't we? Right, I'm going to give this a clean, just around the edges, because this is where you get all your dirt and your grease from where you've been holding it over the decades and whatever, and yeah, just needs a little bit of a clean. There's a little bit of muck down there, a little bit on there and stuff. But other than that, it's actually not in bad condition to say it's nearly 20 years old. get a little bit of clean, I'll put it together, because clip back on, screws back in place, including two smaller ones. As you can see, they're these two here, and then the thicker ones go in the rest of the holes anyway. That's just obviously holding down the part for the memory card. So I'll get that done, get this clean, get it together, and then we can start stripping down and seeing what was wrong with the old one. See if that's repairable or just throw in the binnable. There we go. Screws back in, two small ones at the top of there, put back in place. That is actually as easy as it gets. Once you make sure that everything's in the right place and it does click back into place okay. For a bit of a clean, left trigger, right trigger, upside down if you're looking that way, but hey ho, you're looking down on it, so at least that goes left right, so that fits perfectly fine. Yeah, that is, surprisingly, it is quite good. The same as what the GameCube has. So I'm quite impressed with that. That's a very easy mod fix, shall we say, for a N64 control pad. So let's have a look now at that one side. Let's have a look at the original and see what went wrong with it. I mean, it feels so... Oh, it doesn't feel anything at all. So there's one screw holding this in place. I'm going to hold it together because it feels... I've already loosened it. It feels like there's a spring on here, so I'm going to put it together. Unscrew this one screw because there's two clips on the back as well. I think I'm actually rounding that. Oh, they've got the right screwdriver bit on this. Better. I'm not really bothered because this is going to go in the bin anyway. So that goes up. Two clips on there. I think this might break with the age of it. Oh no. What I need on the screwdriver is to prise this out with, maybe. Let's just weaken it a little bit. There's a spring inside. Oh, hello. This is... Right. This is going to be the fault with this. Oh my god. Right, let's cut that out. That probably could come off. Now let me just show you something. This is not me on drugs. There. That's what's happened with this. Over the years, this part here has been rubbing against the insides of this, and it's just worn the plastic down on this. And just everything's... This isn't cocaine. Don't try this at home, kids, but this is plastic. This is powdered plastic. It feels like a sticky talc, but that's your problem with it. Because over the years, this has just worn itself down. And there's no real fix for this. You could... I'll guess that this... Which part? Okay. It's probably this part here. No, it's not this part here. It's white plastic. It's got to be this bit here. And it's just worn itself down over the years. That's why it feels a little bit crunchy. I mean, I didn't fully want to dismantle this, but I think taking this out would have been, and cleaning it out would have been a complete waste of time, because there's no point. You even got roller wheels on there. That's quite clever. It's like a mouse. The roller wheels on with this. But with it being rubbing against itself for decades, if you wanted to upgrade this a little bit and use the original, then perhaps take the pieces, put a bit of oil in there, grease in there, so it would lubricate it, but it's just... It just destroys itself. It's actually not bad compared to what I've seen in other videos. But yeah, it's not what I want, and the replacement is a hell of a lot better. So if it were left for a lot longer, it would have just ground itself down, broke itself off. Yeah, so having one of these on is probably a really good upgrade. I mean, there is a small chance that could just be cleaned out and it would work fine, but it does feel a little rough in there. So I probably will put this together and see if it's any good by putting a little bit of grease in the bottom and just... yeah, well, I don't know. I like to collect some of the parts of these anyway that I've done work on, and see where I've been. Obviously it doesn't mean anything now, but in 20 years time or something it might be quite interesting. But yeah, this is what these control sticks, the joystick part of the N64s do. They just turn themselves, destroy themselves every time you play it. So let's get this back together for me, but this is the end for you. So thank you very much for watching. If you've got any idea, if you want to get one yourself, check on Amazon, check on eBay. They're all on there. They're just a replacement stick for, they do the original. So it's not like a ball, which that would last a lot longer anyway. I'll probably put a drop or two of WD-40 in there to keep it a little bit lubricated, but that's absolutely brilliant. And that's going to work now. And it's just, it looks original. It looks so original. It looks better than the original, to be honest. But yeah, please like, subscribe, do one yourself. And we'll have a good game on the N64. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now. In conclusion, with this now, this is back together again. I broke one of the tabs off, but that doesn't matter. You see here, this wobbles. The amount of plastic that this has rubbed away from it, it wobbles. It actually centres quite well, but it clicks around quite well, but it's the amount of plastic it's lost over the years. So do you a favour, do yourself a favour, get a new one, because this wasn't a good idea, it wasn't a good design. But hooray for the N64, time to play.